Hello and welcome back to Hindustan Astrology. I'm Katya, and in today's video we're going to talk about the May 2020 full flower moon. Now this is taking place on May 7th at 6:44 a.m. EST, and it's taking place at 23 degrees of Libra in the nakshatra called Vishaka. Vishaka is the star of purpose, and this spans from 20 degrees of Libra to 3.2 of Scorpio. So the stars that go with this are the 4 stars that are in the scale of the Libra constellation, and Zubin El Ganubi especially gives competitive prowess, but it can also have a negative side of jealousy. So especially on the Scorpio side, this nakshatra can show those tendencies. But the best thing they can do with their intense sense of purpose and dharma is to become the spiritual warrior. And this shows the beautiful loving qualities, especially on the Libra side of this nakshatra, where they really need to put all of their Jupiter wisdom into action. Now the deity that rules this nakshatra is Indra Agni. Now this is a combination of 2 deities. This is Indra, who is the chief of the gods, and Agni, the god of fire. And you know, fire purifies, it gives us inspiration. So this is an excellent time, excellent full moon to do your Agnihotra. I'll put the link down in the comments for you, but basically just go to agnihotra.org and you can learn all about fire therapy. It's a ceremony that comes from India where fire is lit at sunrise and sunset in a ritual manner to bring purification to yourself, your home, and your neighborhood. Now, people that have this nakshatra are, you know, they're very competitive. But the thing is that because this is about Dharma, and this is where the moon is, opposite that we have the sun in Bharani. Now Bharani is the star of restraint, and Yama, the god of death, rules this nakshatra. So how they're working together is, you know, we have a lot of healthcare workers right now, representing the moon, who are finding their purpose and their dharma at this time. But you know, the moon's isolated and away from the other planets. And I'll show you this in the chart. We're going to look at on the computer in a minute. But just briefly, you know, just knowing that we have Mercury and Uranus sitting with the sun. You know, this is going to show this intense, you know, drive to get things done, but it's in Bharani, the star of restraint. So it's kind of this push-pull energy. And we just have to be really careful right now as businesses are opening. It's going to be, you know, a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of process. So let's take a look at the chart on the computer and see where things are going. Okay, you guys, so let's take a look at the chart for the May 2020 full moon. And I've got it here. Okay, so you see it's taking place at, there we go. Okay, it's taking place at 6:43 a.m., 2311 Libra. And as you can see, so here's the moon, and it's opposite from all of the other planets, and it's isolated, and moon does not like to be isolated, you guys. This is the thing. When moon comes back around into Sagittarius, it will be back into Kalasarpa Yoga until it goes back over to Gemini. And then from Gemini to Sag, it's going to be by itself. So this is going to be a theme. And it's so interesting that we're in quarantine right now and coming out of quarantine, actually, while the moon is doing this. So let's just, I'm going to go over what I wrote on the website. On this day of the May full moon, we have the moon in Libra, isolated away from the other planets. And Mercury and Uranus are sitting with the sun in Aries. Now, moon is in Vishaka, and Vishaka is ruled by Jupiter. This suggests that information will reveal itself at lightning speed. Sun in Bharani nakshatra indicates that we are birthing a new world now, that we're coming out of quarantine and things will be happening in a push-pull fashion. Bharani is the star of restraint, and Aries wants to go, go, go. Yama, the god of death, rules Bharani, and indeed we are dealing with a lot of death with the pandemic right now. Many in the healthcare industry are saying that they are feeling like they are fulfilling their life's purpose or their dharma with this pandemic. And having this full moon in the lunar mansion of the star of purpose highlights these sentiments. But having the moon isolated and away from the other planets shows how lonely so many of them feel. We need to continue to reach out and show them how grateful we are that they chose this path in life. Venus rules Libra, and she is still in her sign of Taurus, making the difficult 6-8 quincunx aspect to the moon today. Many truly do not feel loved or appreciated, so reach out to those who are alone right now. Jupiter rules Vishaka, and he is debilitated in Capricorn currently, but he's slowing down as he will go retrograde on the 14th in 1 week. Jupiter here shows false hope, and what I fear is that having Pluto retrograde now with him shows that we'll be seeing a backtracking of the virus. We will lose ground on it once the businesses open back up. But with so many out of work, it really behooves us to start rolling out the openings, hence the push-pull feeling of this right now. Jupiter is approaching Saturn. As you can see, we've got Jupiter at 3 degrees and Saturn at 748. And this gives governments the upper hand. Once Jupiter goes back into Sagittarius, they will lose that. But they need that upper hand right now to deal with the crisis of us coming out of quarantine as well. On the 11th, Saturn goes retrograde, so he is slowing down as well. Things may feel like they are standing still or we are going in slow motion on the one hand, yet things are thrusting forward quickly on the other. This is because Saturn rules time. And so when Saturn goes retrograde, sometimes it feels like Mercury retrograde because media and communication happens in a timely fashion, correct? So when Saturn goes retrograde, all things related to time go a little bit wonky. Maybe your watches mess up, your clocks, the clock on your computer. So your computer could go wonky and, it feels like Mercury retrograde, but it's not. It's Saturn retrograde. Mars is now in Aquarius, and he is still in Saturn's sign. So he does well here because he's exalted in Capricorn, and he's sitting with Neptune, and this will give oil prices a boost, which will actually help the economy. And we also may hear about the NASA mission to Mars during this transit. They have a rover there now, so we may get some data and pictures. They plan on landing in 2030, 10 years into the Pluto transit of Capricorn. It's interesting. Mars is giving his 4th aspect to Venus today. So this should be a passionate full moon as well. Lots of babies going to come out of this end of quarantine. We don't have any planets with Rahu or Ketu. As you can see, there, Rahu's alone, Ketu's alone. Ketu hasn't been alone for a while. That's pretty telling. And I think that's going to take some of the intensity off. So yeah, this is where we're at. And Saturn's in its own sign. That's good. Venus is in her own sign. That's good. So I just feel like we just have to watch our impulsiveness and just kind of roll with the punches. So hope that helps you guys. And as usual, if you are interested in getting a personal reading with me, I'm actually doing a sliding scale right now because I've had so many people come to me and say, I can't afford it, or, I really need some help, but I would like to pay you something. So I'm just allowing people to give me what they can. So I hope that helps. Namaste. 2020 full flower moon, I wanted to show you some new cards I got. I got them at, well, from a seller who only sells in the UK and Australia. And this is called the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And they're just really beautiful cards, and I thought it would be fun to pull one because it shows the different phases of the moon. Last quarter moon, waning crescent, waning crescent 2. I mean, it shows all the different phases of the moon, and it has a different card, and they're really, really beautiful. So I will put a link where you can purchase these down in the comments, but I thought it would be fun to pull one and see what kind of energy we're going to get with this full moon. Okay. So I'm just going to, instead of cutting them and, you know, doing it that way, and I'm just going to pull one card. So, all right. Great Spirit, be with us, and only Great Spirit. What card can you show us that goes with the energy of this full moon in Vishaka? Okay, what's this one? We have last quarter moon, which is gratitude. Okay, let's see what they have to say about gratitude. Number 23. Be where you are and be thankful. There is always something to be grateful for, no matter your suffering. Gratitude raises a lower vibration to a higher one. Do not allow yourself to be surrounded by too many negative people. Life is conspiring for you. Your mantra is, I joyfully turn my attention to what I am grateful for. As we enter the last quarter moon on the lunar cycle, the energies begin to turn towards surrender and release, to let go of what we no longer need. It behooves us to pay attention to what we have right now, both positive and negative. This attention paying and focus allows us to wisely discern and to be grateful for all of it. Yes, all of it. Because the nasty stuff, the stuff that is making us suffer right now, it already happened, and we can take wisdom from this. However, now it's going. Waxing crescent 4 and the dark moon are going to sort that out for you. And what we have left is the good stuff. And frankly, most of it is going to be great. Taking some time out on this moon to list a few things you feel grateful for will raise your vibrations and banish any resistance you have to ditching old, outmoded patterns. Doing this also turns your powerful focus away from a story you may have started to believe of everything going wrong or that life does terrible things to you. Gratitude is a balancer. In fact, it normally tips the scales to the positive. And the companion stone or metal is the ocean jasper. So that's the energy that's going along with this full moon. And I think, you know, it's just so easy for us to get really snarky and negative during this quarantine we've been under. And people are, frankly, they're just a little, you know, they're on the edge. So we have to just give everybody, you know, a little space and know that if we are grateful for something, then we are attracting more of that good stuff. At the same time, we have to be careful of boundaries and not allowing ourselves to be taken advantage of. So there's a very fine line, you know, between being grateful and being giving, and being grateful and knowing that if everybody's grateful, then everybody will attract good things to them. So I hope this helps you guys right now, and if you have any questions, just, you know, send me an email. And my website is hindustanastrology.com if you're interested in booking a reading. Thank you very much. Namaste.